Greetings. My name is Mr. Archie, and I am a band teacher in upstate New York. And I have a lot of students who have to perform solos for either NYSSMA, which is a local competition, sometimes in a recital, sometimes for auditions. And they find it sometimes that their nervousness, their anxiety sometimes gets in the way of them doing their best. So I'm here to talk to you about a few things that you can do ahead of time to maybe help with that situation, to help you not be too nervous when the time comes. Okay, so there's two kinds of preparation that you're going to want to do. First, you want to do some physical preparation. And by that I mean practice a lot, okay? Even if you've got the solo down, just keep practicing to the point where you almost memorize it. You'll still always want it in front of you, but practice it to the point where your fingers or your arms pretty much remember what to do. They just have done it so many times that in a situation where you're in a performance and you make a mistake, which, let's face it, is inevitable. We all make mistakes somewhere in there. So when you make a mistake in the performance, your fingers are very used to, or your arms are used to quickly fixing the mistake and getting right back into the flow because they're used to that, okay? There's going to be a moment of jarred reaction where your brain freezes, and the more familiar with the muscle memory of doing the performance your arms and fingers are, and your airflow is, the better you're going to be, okay? Now, another thing to help you physically prepare for it is that while you're practicing, I highly recommend recording yourself doing the solo. You'll be surprised how suddenly it feels like you're on the spot because you're trying to get it right for that recording, just like you're trying to get it right for an audience. And you'd be surprised how a lot of the situations that were going to not happen during practice but would have happened during the performance suddenly do happen, and you can address those by physically practicing around them and dealing with it. So recording yourself practicing the solo can sometimes really be effective. And then on the preparation physically, another suggestion I have, especially for wind instruments, is to how you do your breathing, okay? To prepare by doing breath exercises throughout your day, so when it comes near time for your performance, you can do these breath exercises, and it helps you relax and be in the right mental frame to handle your performance. So what I usually suggest is for people to take in air and filling up their air in one long breath, not too long, about 4 seconds or so, just filling up from the bottom of your stomach all the way up, not the other way around. Fill bottom all the way up. And then it's important that you do not hold your breath at the top and you immediately start blowing out. But this time you want to take a long time breathing out, like 10 seconds or so. And then you want to be breathing from top down. So you're trying to keep your stomach extended till the very last bit of breath. So a nice deep breath in. So the stomach is the last thing to go. And do this about 3 or 4 times in a row, and then do it multiple times throughout the day, especially when you're about to rest, maybe when you're about to take a nap or go to sleep. Maybe you'll find it helps you when you're maybe in an angry situation. Maybe it'll help you calm down and deal with the situation with a clear head. But I definitely feel it helps me with anxiety before performances to do that, especially if my body's used to doing it. So even while I'm nervous, I can do it, and the muscle memory of doing the exercise starts to bring the breathing correctly, and then helps my brain start to focus correctly. Okay, so that is a number of physical things you can do in preparation for having to perform a solo. Now, how about mentally? What can you do? Well, first of all, throughout your day, when you have moments where you're just not doing anything, and you often might let your brain just wander, okay, and daydream, imagine yourself performing the solo. Like, go through the entire solo from beginning to end. Imagine seeing it, even if it's not in front of you. Imagine the sound that you tend to make when you are performing it, the melody in your head. Imagine your fingers and arms moving, even if you're not really moving them while you're imagining it. But imagine the movement, okay? And imagine the sound and imagine the sight of the solo. Going all the way through, beginning to end, in your head. You'll find that is surprisingly very, very helpful. You wouldn't think to do it, but I'm telling you, I promise you, it makes a huge difference in your performance to just every once in a while go through that solo mentally without actually physically performing it. It's just, you wouldn't think it, but it definitely helps. It also helps to you make sure you're breathing from your stomach while you're doing it, so you're kind of calm and remaining calm as you imagine going through it. Now, also, you want to imagine your audience cheering you through the whole performance. So you want to imagine like an audience that maybe you're not even imagining the solo. You're just imagining yourself in front of an audience, and an audience is just cheering you on and letting you know all the time how great that you're doing and loving every minute of it. And at the end, giving you a big applause and begging you to play it again. Okay? Now, this imagery, believe it or not, is going on in your parents' head when they're watching the performance, and your friends. Every one of them is cheering you on. They just know it's polite to stay quiet while you're doing your performance. But in their head, they are thinking, he got it. Oh, or she got it. Or, this is going great. This is going great. Oh, yeah. They're thinking those thoughts. And if you imagine yourself with them saying those thoughts sometimes, just as you let your mind wander, what you would call meditation, then you'd be surprised how it's helping you understand and almost feel that energy from the audience, that they are on your side. They aren't against you. If you think negative thoughts all the time about how they're reacting, you're going to feel that that's how they're reacting to your performance. But that's not the case. Everyone in that audience is cheering you on mentally, okay? So definitely worth the time to imagine that. Imagine an audience cheering you on the entire time. Now, imagine the after effects. The performance is done. You're done with your performance. All the performances are done. Everyone's bows and does whatever. And then your family is probably going to be giving you big hugs and be telling you how great that you did. Imagine that. Imagine the stuff that's going to come after. Something to look forward to. So even though the performance itself is creating some level of anxiety, knowing that once you're done, you're going to get support. No matter how you do, I guarantee you're going to get support from your family and friends. They're going to be so happy and prideful of what you've done. Lastly, and this one's tough. Lastly, if you start to imagine the negative thoughts, letting yourself think of making mistakes or the audience booing you or thinking that you're doing awful, you've got to shake that away. You can't let yourself go down that path of thinking that constantly, because the thought of doing that a lot will eventually make it so. Okay, you're pretty much sabotaging yourself by thinking a lot about the negativity. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of brains are built to do that very, very easily, to go down the path of looking for things to be wrong. And in a lot of situations, that's the best thing for you, especially situations of safety. To imagine what could go wrong is wise in a lot of situations. You don't just go walking across a busy highway because you imagine how that could go wrong. So you sit there and think, oh, I better stay away from that. So in a lot of situations, that's a good thing for the brain. But that's why the brain does that and goes right for it a lot, is your brain's trying to prepare you for negative things. But in this case, that's not what you want, okay? It will create more anxiety, and it will create a situation where you sabotage yourself. So trying to train yourself, especially at a young age, to shake away that nervousness and try to imagine the good things that are going to happen, and the performance going well, and the audience being happy about your performance, even if there are mistakes, loving every minute of how you're handling that and how you're going through your performance. Okay? You've got to keep it positive in this situation, because it's not the same as a lot of other situations. Try to keep the positivity going up here. Okay? And then that should help you prepare mentally. Okay? So physically practice as much as possible, doing it again and again and again and again. Record yourself doing it, and breathing when you have moments of a break throughout your day, to relax and to train yourself to relax. So when you've got 30 seconds before you've got to go on and perform your show, that breath exercise will really help calm you down and find some positivity. And then mentally imagining positive things, and trying to keep away from the negative thoughts that a lot of our brains are trained to do. And hopefully some of that will help you out. Let me know down in the comments, and click like and subscribe. And as always, may the force be with you.